Hello, hello. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie Part 1. I'm Julie Davison and I'm so excited that you are joining me today. I've got Mom on voice on audio joining me today. She is working on finishing up her project, which we're going to film next, and we're so excited to be using some new online exclusives today. These just launched last week on July 3rd, and we sneak peeked a little bit last week when we showed you the iconic celebrations suite. But there is so much more to the online exclusive. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you my desk and show you exactly what we're using this week. All right, so we've got the Changing Leaves bundle. This was, I think, one of my at the top of my list, Mom. How about you?
Yes, for various reasons, which you're going to explain, and then I will also explain.
Well, I think for both of us, our favorite season is autumn. And so I always am drawn to the leaf stamps, the autumn stamps. And this is a very dynamic bundle. So this is one of several bundles. I have a little flyer that I put together that's showing there's 6 individual stamp sets, 4 bundles that are apart from the suites. We've got some miscellaneous things like the gold mercury vellum, the cream woven ribbon, the Stampin' Glass Mat Studio, and then 2 different suites, the iconic celebrations, which we showcased last week, and then also the season of green and gold. And this one will be showing in an upcoming video, so don't don't forget to subscribe to our channels, both of us, so that you don't miss out on those projects. I really love that suite. But today we're focusing on the Changing Leaves bundle, and this is a hybrid embossing bundle. And so we have a photopolymer stamp set with these fantastic line images of leaves. I guess this one's more solid, but I just love the variety here and the different looks that you get, and then kind of some teeny tiny sentiments. They're very small in size. You are amazing in every single way. I couldn't have done it without you. Here for you, a little note to brighten your day, and thank you. Now, the stamp has coordinating dies, including some detailed dies and stitched labels, as well as one big die that die cuts all 3 of the leaves and an embossing folder. And this is a hybrid embossing folder, and so that means you can put the die directly in the embossing folder, and it kind of has like raised ridges, and so it'll sort of nest in there, and you can die cut and emboss at the same time. And I'm going to show you that on my project today. I'm going to do a little bit of that. I'm going to actually stamp and die cut and emboss at the same time, but you can use these all individually. So you can die cut just the leaves, you can die cut the stamped images, you can emboss, you can die cut and emboss. So there's so many different ways. And actually, I had one I wanted to show you. Like, here's one that I stamped, and here's one that I die cut and embossed. I don't know how you can see the texture on the white. I don't think it shows up very well at all, actually.
I can't really tell on the white, but
There,
the
I think.
color is pretty.
Yes, it is. It is so beautiful. I just love the texture in person. So let's get started with my card. I've got another kind of clean and simple card again. I've had this layout just stuck in my head. And do you ever get ideas stuck in your head? And the only way to get it out is just like to make it, to make the
Absolutely.
card.
Absolutely. And then it
So,
never turns out how it was in my head.
oh, well, this is a card that I cased from the catalog like a couple years ago. And so I've made this layout before, and I did tweak it like a little bit and change the size up. But it did kind of come together as I was hoping to.
Oh,
Now I've
good.
got some pieces, and I just wanted to show you. I did take the plaid piece from the season of green and gold designer paper. So this is one of those suites from the online exclusives, and it's got gold on each side, vanilla, and these amazing leaves and pine and bells. And the other side has some terrific sort of two-tone with the old olive and mossy meadow. And I love these versatile patterns. So this is where the plaid came from. I'm using a little piece of that. That's 1 3/4 inch by 5. And I'll have the measurements for you in the video description. And then I have an old olive cardstock that's 3 by 4. And I did go ahead and emboss that. So it has that nice texture on there. And then I'm using a 2 3/8 inch circle punch. You could also use like a stitch die, but I love my punches for easy, easy peasy shape making. And then I have die cut the long oval from this Changing Leaves die set. I've got a Mossy Meadow card base. It's just the regular 8.5 by 5.5 inside piece, 4 by 5 1/4, and then a scrap piece that I'm going to stamp on. So let's do the stamping first. I'm going to use Old Olive ink because my Mossy Meadow has just been kind of funky lately. I just ordered a re-inker so that I could try rinsing. Have you ever done that, Mom?
I've heard that people can do it. I haven't had much luck. I just ordered a new Mossy Meadow for
Did you?
basically the same reason. Yeah.
So I don't know how well you can see. I just don't have good lighting today, I guess. But it sort of has these like weird divots and it just doesn't hold the ink very well. And I've had this problem before. And I have heard of people rinsing out the pad and re-inking it. And so I'm gonna try that and see if that will
Mm.
work. I've had it for a little while, so I think it's beyond the time that Stampin' Up! Will replace it. But Mossy Meadow is such a great color, especially for fall and going along with this season of green and gold sweet. So I got to get my pad working. I'm using Old Olive, which is just a little bit lighter than Mossy Meadow. And so I'm stamping that sort of medium size leaf. And these are on the cover, they're 85%. And so you can see the stamp images are much bigger, the actual size stamp images. So I've got that, and I'm just going to give this a quick little trim because this is going to go in the embossing folder and get fully die cut. And then I want to also stamp the sentiment on the long oval. And so this says, "You are amazing in every single way." And I think that's so true, Mom. You are amazing in every single way.
Aw.
While I've got this out, I want to do my inside. I'm just going to stamp just a simple leaf here in the corner. Nothing fancy, but I just want to have a little something inside to bring that imagery into the card. So I'm going to use my hybrid embossing folder to die cut and emboss the stamped image. And so all three of these leaves will all three of the stamped leaf images will line up and coordinate with the embossing folder. So you can die cut and emboss at the same time. And I just think that's so much fun. So I'm going to stick that in here and bring up my die cutting machine. And for the hybrid embossing folder, which is a 3D embossing folder, you want to use this specialty plate. So I'm going to put that in the machine with the hinge facing the center, rolling through, and I'm just going to crank that through, and it will die cut and emboss at the same time. It's like magic. Oh,
You're right there.
I am okay. So here is the finished leaf. And like I said, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, like the texture that it adds, but in person, it's just such a fun little detail to
Mhm.
have that extra texture on there. So you could die cut, and I think actually, if you're wanting to stamp on the die cut leaves, I think it actually would be easier to, because we don't have a block that's this big, but I tried this earlier and I die cut all of the leaves in white and then I stamped on them. And since it's a photopolymer stamp set, if you die cut first and then stamp, it works out just fine. So if you're wanting to die cut all the leaves at once to really take advantage of the paper, then it works that way to die cut and then to stamp. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, let's get our pieces back out and we can assemble our card. Like I said, it is kind of a simple card today, but I love my clean and simple layouts. Sometimes I get all fancy and layer and but I mean we still got a lot of layers on here, so it's not totally clean and simple. I've got the white piece on the inside, And then I'm going to add that strip of designer paper to the left side of the card, and I'm just evenly spacing it between the sides and the top and the bottom. I'm going to bring in the embossed old olive cardstock. And I'm going to kind of add that at an angle because I like an angle, but if you want to do it straight, that's fine too. And then I have our Mossy Meadow circle and our leaf. And what happened to the stamped sentiment? Where did you go? That's so weird.
You lost it.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals on this. And so I am going to do first some dimensionals on the leaf and put it onto a circle. And I was kind of playing around with this earlier, and I feel like normally I would do it like this, but I didn't want the oval to cover up so much of it. So I decided to do the leaf kind of this way so that you can see more of it when you add the sentiment. So that was my thought process. So the circle is going to go kind of overlapping the designer paper just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring in the sentiment, and um, some of it is going to be overlapping the leaf. So I don't need to have dimensionals there, but then the end of it is going to go off the circle. So I doubled up on dimensionals for the very end. So I think it'll work out okay.
I've had to do that too.
Where we have just adhesive, single dimensional, and double dimensional, so that the whole thing, I don't know how well you can see that now. You couldn't see it at all. Anyway, the whole thing is flat on there, and um, the same height. Of course, we're not done. We've got to add some bling. And this one is one of my new favorite. This is an online exclusive. We used it last week. It's the pecan pie and clear ribboned adhesive back dots. And I just love these. It says pecan pie, but it kind of reminds me of like a rose gold. Um, and I've been obsessed with the white ones. I love the contrast here um against the green. I just think that's so pretty. Well, on Thursday night, I showcased a bunch of samples from the online exclusives. And during the video, I die cut that new Mercury vellum paper with this Changing Leaves hybrid embossing folder. And so I promised I would make a card. So here is the same card, just in gold and vanilla.
Ooh.
And I have two versions because I added ribbon to one of them, that new vanilla woven ribbon.
Oh, pretty.
Okay,
That's
so
really pretty, Julie.
this or that, do you prefer
Ooh.
the green or gold version?
Mm, wow. I don't know. That's a
I
good question.
I know. I feel like they could be good for different kinds of occasions and sending to
Yeah.
different people.
Yeah.
The gold definitely has a more elegant touch. And even though I use the Here For You sentiment on it, I think it would be so pretty for a fall wedding. Um,
Yeah.
or anniversary. I got one of those.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, well, I have some more samples to share with you that are swaps that I received using the Changing Leaves bundle. This first one comes from Sandy Carlson, and it is a pop-up pocket card, which we showed in another Sunday stamping video. So I'll link that up for you in the video description. And she just kind of layered some different die cuts and embossed and die cut pieces. And she also used some paper from the green and gold, what is it called? The Season of Green and Gold designer paper. And also, let's see, Leah and Graf used a little bit of the green Season of Green and Gold designer paper too. This actually has a fun little flap that opens.
Aw, I
I
like
know,
that.
isn't that sweet? And then, oh my gosh, I love this one from Gwen Duckworth. She did a layer. It's kind of hard to see. My lighting is just terrible today. On the crumb cake background, there's just like a 2-inch strip here of the crumb cake embossed cardstock on the card base. And then the die cut and embossed leaves in pecan pie, wild wheat, and early espresso.
That's
Here's
really a
one
fun
from
one.
Dawn Olszewski, and she colored that leaf image and cut it
Ooh,
out.
very pretty.
And this last one you're going to absolutely love from
Uh-oh.
Dina Rico. She used the Mercury vellum and
Oh,
just she didn't even emboss this one. She just stamped and die cut that leaf. A little note to brighten your day.
how pretty.
Oh my gosh, I have been having so much fun with these online exclusives, and the changing leaves is no different. I'm going to switch the camera around one more time and show off my project before we head over to your channel, Mom, and see what you've created. Oh, here's my finished card.
So
I love this layout so much, and now that I've brought it back out again, I can't wait to try
uh-huh.
it again with different stamps and different inks. And so I hope that you feel inspired to do the same. If you enjoyed today's Sunday stamping video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on future Sunday stamping videos. And we will be showcasing a new online exclusive all month long, so we can't wait to share with you. But now
Mm-mm.
it's time to head over to Mom's channel so that you can see what she's created with the Changing Leaves hybrid bundle. So click the link right in the middle of the screen, wherever it is. And you can also find it in the video description. And we will see you over there in the live chat for the premiere of her video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everybody. Bye, Mom.
Bye. See you in a bit.